Hi guys and girls, welcome back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. It is that time, guys. Sit down with Shan for another little gossip. And February being the month of love, you know we're not going to talk about love. This month's topic, as you would have seen down in the title bar, is let's talk red flags. The things that people say, if you ignore them at the start, they're the reason it goes belly up, and you should never ever ignore a red flag. Red flags are there as a warning. They are our alerts. They are our inner voices saying, be careful here. I do have a new little cushion behind me. Can you see him chilling? We got Stitch here, guys, which you may or may not be seeing in an upcoming video. Make sure you stay tuned for tonight's video at 6 PM, okay? Well, I don't think there's much more to say. We know what the topic is. Guys, if you want to get involved in these videos, you know what to do. Down in the descriptions box, I always have my personal business email. If you want to get involved, just drop me a message down on there, and what I do is I will add you to the big group that we have on there. Everything is anonymous, so you don't get like everyone's email address. But when we do videos like Sit Down with Shan's, Scandals with Shan, The Moments with Mama G, monthly mukbangs, confessions, anything where I think like I need your guys' input, I will always ask over there. And as I say, everything remains anonymous. Or if you have Instagram, you can catch me on AllThingsShannonLeighxx on Instagram. I will again put my stories on with the little question boxes. If it doesn't fit in the question box, which half the time it doesn't because Instagram doesn't give you enough, just do, if you can, a screenshot of whatever one it is and then send to me. Or actually no, you don't even have to do that on Instagram. You can just write like a message in response to that story, and then I'll see which one it is, and then you can write as much as you want. But yeah, I'm rabbiting. I'm gonna have a little swift refreshment. It is only water. I would love to say it's something alcoholic, but water, H2O. And guys, let's get in with the video. Right, so you know how these videos go. Sometimes we move position halfway through, sometimes we stay the same, but it's all about being comfy. So let's talk about red flags. So the first one is when someone moves too quickly and doesn't listen to you and how you feel. Now, I agree with that, and I can also see it from another point. So when you first get with someone, you're in that whirlwind romance and everything feels 100 miles an hour. You want to be with each other all the time. You have all these plans and you want to have it all happen. Some people do move in quick. Some people move in after months, years. Some people move in after days. I think, as you say there, it's not just about someone who's moving too quickly, but it's how they're responding to you. So if someone was saying to you, right, you know what, we're meant to be together, I'm moving in, and you're like, oh, hi, yeah, I'd like to wait a little bit longer, and they're like, no, it'll be fine, and they're just totally disregarding your things, that's where I think it's a problem. If you're both on the same wavelength though, and you're like, right, I think, you know what, let's take the plunge, or it's now or never, and you're both on the same wavelength, I think that's okay. But yeah, definitely if someone's very hot to get in, and if you're having a few hesitations or just a little bit of a hold, one moment, step back, reassess the situation, if they're not listening to that, then yeah, I think a big red flag is not communicating properly and not being able to communicate. And people might think, well, that's easy, you just talk to someone. There's a lot of ways in which you would communicate with your partner, and I think there has to be open communication on both sides on all various levels. So yeah, if someone was like, oh, by the way, I'm moving in, and I weren't in that vibe, I'd be like, no, I don't think so. And if they said, well, no, I'd be like, no, like, let's just take a step back at the moment and see how we go. But yeah, when they don't listen to how you feel. Cancelling plans last minute with bad excuses. No compromising, two-timing, all words, no action. First off, cancelling plans last minute with bad excuses. That, for me, not even just in relationships, like just in general, I am a very, if you haven't worked out, meticulous person in everything I do. I'm very OCD organised, like everything runs to a schedule. Everything runs, oh I got cramp, no not this early on in the video. If you saw the camera just go there guys, sorry I knocked it out slightly. I'm very much, I run my life to a schedule, timing schedule, date schedule, and if you've got something in the diary, like you guys, you know my diary is my like Bible. My countdown app on my phone is gospel, and once it goes in there, I don't want to take it out, because that means it's in there. I've planned for it, I've planned around it, I've prioritized stuff around it, and that's how it's going to be. If I have to then rearrange it, not necessarily because plans change, I get that, but if it's something like last minute cancellation with a pretty bad or lame excuse, I can't lie, I do get my back up. And I think that's probably why I turned it so like antisocial, because I'm just like, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to put the effort in and then someone just go, oh, you know what, I'm not really fancying it today. Because you think, oh, well, I could have done so much more with my day. And with me, again, I like to be productive all the time. That, I think that should be on my gravestone, productive. That is, I hate just sitting around. Like today, you probably think, Shan, it's Mother Nature weekend, chill out. No, I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, guys. I done 2 hours of my module calls. I've been sorting the house out, done a bit of brekkie, had a bath, washed my hair. We've got filming on the go everywhere. And yeah, I can't sit and not do anything. And I find it really hard. But if someone was to then cancel and just be like, oh, I'm not feeling it today, I'd be like, in my head mentally, when they say next time, oh, should we go out? I would be very hesitant to accept, because I think, is it just going to be a blowout again? Like, are you actually just going to cancel on me and be like, no, not really feeling it? No compromising. See, yes, in relationships, everyone says, oh, it's 50-50. That should be how it is. In my eyes, it's even across the board. I read a quote the other day where they said, you're not always going to be able to get 50% out of your partner. They might come to you one day and be like, you know what? I'm having a rubbish day. I've got 30%. So you have to then make up that 70% to equal you guys out. And it was a really good analogy as to how the balance in relationships are and how it works. And for me, as I say, 50-50 all the way down the line. That's how it always was with Mama G and Dada and my grandparents. That's how I've been brought up. As Mum used to say, you go Dutch. You always go Dutch on everything and you pay your way, which is how I've been brought up and how I continue to live my life, because I think we've all got life, we've all got bills, we've all got our own money, we all support ourselves, and I think we should be able to support ourselves to a certain degree. And yeah, I'd be like, if there was no compromise and it was always you do this or you pay that or you get that, I'd be like, no. Again, this meet in the middle 50-50 balance. A balanced life is a happy life, I feel. If you have unbalance, and it's unbalanced through factors that are not necessarily anything you can do about, then yes, I think it could be a little bit of a do-do-do-do. But compromising, of course you have to compromise, guys. A relationship is two people, and you're not always going to agree. You will be different opinions, different voices, different styles. And I think that's what makes relationships. Not everyone's the same, because if we was all the same, we'd all be pretty boring. I mean, we'd all probably look like blue Smurfs if we was all like me. We'd be going through all the erratic hair colours. But yeah, I definitely think, again, it kind of goes back to the first one with the people not listening to how you feel and how certain actions and things can contribute to your state of mind. I do think that compromise is a big thing within the relationships. All words, no actions. Don't you just hate it when someone thinks they've got the gift of the gab, but they haven't got the substance to follow it up? There is nothing worse than someone saying, yeah, I'm doing this, or we're doing that, or going there, and then there's nothing. Because you just think, as you say, you're all words. You're all mouth and no trousers. Like, come on, you need to start putting some substance behind what you're saying. If I say I'm doing something, I'm doing something. If I say I'm going somewhere, I'm going somewhere. If I say I'm going to go and dye my hair a crazy colour, guess what? I go off and dye my hair that crazy colour. I am very much of, you have one life, so live it. And we're not here for a long time, we're here for a good time. Yes, that has been my motto since I was about 14 years old, and I stand by it. I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time. And whenever my time comes, hopefully not yet, touch wood, I want to be able to look back and be like, you know what? I had a good life. I worked blooming hard. I done what I wanted. I travelled where I wanted. I bought what I wanted. And a little pat on the back. Because I think I haven't been fortunate enough. Like, say growing up at school, I had a lot of friends who was probably in better financial situations, and when they got their cars, they had brand new cars bought for them and everything like that. And as we've got older, you see on social media like they've had endowments or monies and everything like that towards homes and that. And I think very, very lucky. But when the day comes when I have my own home, I'll be like, you know what? Every single penny in those accounts towards that house is what I've worked and grafted for. No one's given me handouts. No one's helped me. I've done that all by myself. And yeah, that's the next milestone on the horizon, getting my own house. Another thing to tick off and say, guess what? I did it. Always follow your gut. Your gut sees red flags before you do. That saying, always follow your gut. What do you think, guys? Do you follow it or not? I definitely feel if your gut is telling you something, go with it. I've had a few incidences where I've not felt right with things. And you think, no, it'll be all right. And then something niggles and niggles and niggles. And I think when you get that niggling, just be upfront. And as you know, I'm a very direct person, and I will call it out. And you know what? My gut has not failed me on these circumstances. I think I'm a very good... I can read people. People not necessarily who I know well, or people that I know very well. I have a very good judgment of character, and I also can judge. I can tell a lot by people's eyes. Like, people think, oh, their eyes. I'm like, you don't deceive me. I can tell a lot by them two little things in your head, and I can tell if you're lying. I can tell if you're fibbing, if you're beating around the bush. I pick up on a lot of sense of, with regards to like the body language, tones of voices change a lot. And yeah, the gut, if the gut is saying something to you, listen to your gut. Now, I know people say it's like head over heart or heart over head. Would you do heart over gut or gut over heart? Or your gut over your head or your head over your gut? Let me know. There's so many things that they say our bodies lead with. Do you lead with your gut, your heart, or your head? I don't know. I think I listen to my gut. I would say I lead with my head. I do try and be very smart and like methodical in the actions that I take in life. And then heart is probably the last thing, because I think that's the thing that we have to keep guarded most of, and we have to keep protected. So I'd probably go gut, head, and then heart. Let me know what you think down below, guys. I would say if someone can't be honest without sounding defensive all the time, this is what I mean, guys. You know, when I say like people's tone of voice and their body language. So if someone's like very no, you're like, if you was just asking a simple question like, oh, did you take the last bag of crisps out? No. Straight away on that defensive. Like, I don't care, just tell me if you took the crisp or whatever. Or whatever situation this comes around in life. And I do think defensiveness is a big characteristic for if there is a sign that something's not right. If someone is getting agitated, getting defensive, getting a little bit short-tempered, seeming a bit distant, those are all like big call-out signs for me, and my radar's like, doo-doo, what is going on here? Like, we need to sort this out. But yeah, I just think you can tell. And if there wasn't anything worrying or nothing bothering, why would you be getting so defensive? That's my thing. I'm like, clearly there's something there, or like clearly there's something wrong. And I can even tell, it doesn't even have to be the tone of a voice. If someone text messages me and it's slightly different, or the wording or an emoji, I can tell straight off if someone's being off with me, or if someone's trying to be funny, or if they've got the I'm just like, guys, I have no time or energy for that. Good day, bye bye. Then wanting to know where you are all the time and saying it's because they love you. That for me, I think, is pure narcissism. That is controlling. That is a red flag. That is like danger, danger. I get that people who love you do care and they want to make sure you're okay, and just for safety and all that. I mean, there's plenty of things nowadays where you don't have to ask someone's location constantly. You have like Find My Phone and all the other bits and bobs with the apps and that. But if it's like, oh, where are you off to? I'm going to the shop. I'm going into town. All right, no worries. And then you get to town and it's like, right, where are you? Oh, I told you I was going to town. Yeah, but where are you? I'd be like, I'm in town. Bye-bye. Beep. Like, no. I think sometimes it's very easy in relationships to get so caught up and entwined that when the other person goes to do a normal thing, i.e. go to the shops or pop out, and there's kind of like that split, you wonder what is happening. It's like a codependency and you're like, oh, no, like this can't be happening. They need to be with me. Yeah, I'm not about that. I'm not about that. And I think, as you say, they say, oh, just because I love you. If you love me, you'd be able to like trust me or let me have my space. If anything's bad or anything takes a turn for the worst, I will call you. But apart from that, I don't need you to know my whereabouts 24/7. Because that's not healthy for anyone. Not healthy at all. Someone who isn't sensible with money. It's fine to spend, and I love a good shopping spree myself. But when someone has no financial security, savings, or a plan for the future, I consider that a red flag. That, my darling, is a very, very true and smart statement. Now, I have been dealing with my money since I was like 13. Like pocket money, bits and bobs like that. So I think that I've been brought up and I'm very aware of money and money management. You guys might not think it because I go on my little splurges, but I make sure the bills are paid, and then I have my little bit I put away in my savings, and then the rest I like to treat myself with. As I say, you work hard, you play hard. But if I was with someone who had no drive, it wouldn't matter for me the financial side of it, but if someone didn't have the drive to go to work, that for me is a big red flag, because I think, where's the stability? Where's the financial commitment? And where's just the pure adultness and growing up in life? You know, like, we have to work, I'm afraid. We're not at school and having our half terms, and God, what I do for a 6 weeks holiday off right about now. But no, I think I do get that. And that is a very smart way of looking at red flags. As you say, we all have a little shopping spree, but if someone doesn't have the blanket, or they don't have a little bit extra just in case, because we could all fall on hard times, just to have that little security nest, just to be like, if times get rough, then I've got a little bit stashed by. I would find that very aggravating as well, and very kind of almost demeaning to yourself or like the partner, because it's almost seen as you would carry them. And I think in this day and age, I mean, we're all wanting to be equal, men, women, all of us equal. And it can't be a stigma of, if you're a man, you do this and you pay for this, or if you're a woman, you pay and you do for this. Like, no. I don't think that's how it should work, and I don't think it should have worked for that. I think that's like very much my nan and granddad's generation. Maybe with like mum and dada's age, maybe, but definitely my generation, I think, is a lot more go Dutch and pay your own way, and you each put your money in for the bills, and then the rest is what you have is your own money. But I don't think it should be all one person paying for something and then the other one's just coasting by and not really contributing. You know, I don't think that's fair at all. But hey ho. Well, I had a friend who was toxic, but she's out of my life now, and I don't need the people in my life who betrayed me. So I'm glad. You only need the people in your life who are like that to move on and get on with their life and let you live yours. Amen to that. I think if people can't be happy for you, that's a big red flag. Like, no. And there's a lot of sayings and quotes around the little, is it a saying or a quote? I don't know if it's from a film or a book. I see it quite a lot, and it's like, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. And I think when times get tough and things happen that people don't like, people's reactions actually show a lot about them people. So if, say for example, you said here, my lovely, you had a friend who was toxic and betrayed you, it sounds a good riddance that she's out of your life now, because do you need that negativity and toxic behaviour to bring you down? I don't think you do. And for me, as I say, I think in life, we're all getting older now, we're growing up, and I say growing up, I'm almost 30, jeez. That's scary times. I actually need to be an adult, guys. I think people's actions and words speak a lot about themselves, and it doesn't matter, man, woman, whatever age, ethnicity, race, anything like that. It does show a lot about a person and as to how they hold themselves, the demeanour and the respect they hold for themselves. Because sometimes people can do stuff and I will be the first one to look at it and I'll be like, probably not the best move, darling, or it's like not the smartest. I always think, this is how I see it, guys. Okay, so you know Shannon, and you may or may not have seen Shaniqua, but Shaniqua, as much as she is fiery, she's still classy. Mum says I'm a bit like a snake. She says you can say the most cruelest of things that will be like to the bone, but you say it with a class. She says, and I just look at you sometimes and I think, where did you come from? Because Mama G and Dada ain't like that. Don't get me wrong, I can go into ghetto mode where there's no class about that. Like hands, I'm like, woo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Like I'm very expressive with my hands. You guys see in the vlogs, I'm even doing it now. I'm very expressive with my hands and when I'm talking and everything like that. But I think at certain times and places you can have the upper hand with the way that you're delivering something. So it could be, I don't know, you're wanting to put someone in their place and you do that, maybe a little smile, or you have the last laugh by something else. I always think karma's a big thing in life, and karma will come around to whoever it needs to and give them whatever retribution it is. But for me, as I say, I think it's good that she's out of your life, and I just don't stand any betrayal, any toxic vibes. I don't deal with that because it's just like, why would you? If someone's going to be so rude or vulgar or just disrespectful to you, why do you need that in your life? You don't. I certainly don't stand for that. And I'm like, no. If any of my friends were to come with me and say, XYZ, this has happened, I'm the first person to be like, nah, cut off. If you saw last month's moments with Mama G, you would know Mum's very direct approach with cut them off. We kind of have like a no crap tolerance, let's just say. And it's kind of like, nah, okay, some things you can kind of let slide, but some things it's like, no, you've messed it up before like it's even started. So toodle pip. But hey ho, as I say, it sounds like you will be a lot better off without her in your life, my lovely, because no one needs toxic vibes. No one needs that at all. One of my lovely says, I was in an abusive relationship, and when I say an abusive, it was bad. I had a feeling he was knocking about with someone, so I filmed him, and yes, I was right. I walked into the place and they both were, well, you can guess what I done, but I'm not condoning what I done, but the temper was at a boiling point. Oh, I'm not going to read what was done, but I probably would have done the same. I know it was wrong, but I'm a hot-headed Irish girl. I've got 2 Irish names. Does that constitute me as being an Irish girl? It wasn't because I had feelings for him. It was because I was getting the beatings for nothing. As you know, I met the love of my life, and yes, he was married, but we took the risk, and now after 34 years, we are still in love with each other. Sending lots of love to Mama G, Dan, and yourself. And I did get what you sent. Thank you, my lovely. See, this is the thing. I do get in them hot-headed stages. But I have to think now as I'm getting to an adult. Not to. But it is very hard. I mean, it's not my place to say what was done. But I probably would have done that. I can't lie. Tempers flare and as you say, it wasn't for the fact of love. It was because you was having pain inflicted on you for no reason, and then the person who probably wasn't deserving of his love was getting it. So I completely understand you there, and I'm glad you're out of that. 34 years, that's so cute. Oh my god, how old would I be in 34 years? What am I? I'm 28. So 28, 58, I'd be 62. Oh god, my life's gonna flash before my eyes. Oh wow. Guys, will I still be here at 62 doing this? Can you imagine? Right, let's have a look. I hope you're all well. Now, on this one... Oh, I'm so sorry, my darling. I've only just seen this. I'll drop you an email. I only just seen this. See, when I go through them, I literally screenshot really quick and I don't read them because I like to have like first reactions with you guys. Oh, I will have to drop you a message, my lovely. Hi, Shannon. Someone texting you and ringing you when they want to borrow money and always coming up with an excuse as to why they can't pay it back when they said they would. Also coming up with excuses not to meet up with you and not being interested in getting to know you. Just wanting the money, and when you call them out on it, they don't like it. Luckily, I got all my money back what I was owed and I could put it behind me. Again, this is like a big thing, like the financial situation. If you've got someone who, as I say, is able to pull their weight 50-50, maybe not even 50-50. If you've got someone who is kind of on par, I think it's okay. Or say it's like, right, well, you got the takeaway this month, I'll get the takeaway this month. Like stuff like that to even it out. If you've got someone who is purely using you as a piggy bank, whether that be friends, partners, family, colleagues, whatever, that is where I don't think it's right. I am very much, I will only lend money to like immediate family and close ones. And to be honest, that's not a lot of people. I think because I wouldn't be able to put myself in that situation where if I'd lent someone money and then like it comes to the time you need it back or whatever, or they say, yeah, I'm paying it back this, and then it doesn't, I think, oh no, you're taking the mick now. So I kind of don't put that in I don't put myself in that position. I know there's a lot of people, as I say, in our friendship groups that, oh, lend us this for that and lend us, and it's like, that's it, you do you. But then you don't want to hear about the drama when it goes a bit belly up. That for me is very, again, a narcissist behaviour. That is very selfish, toxic, because it's almost like the sun shines out of your booty. Give us some money. Oh, great, thank you, Lala, I'll pay you back. And then you don't get it. Or you'll have people that will try to take you for a mug, in essence. And I think, unfortunately, and probably more commonly than it would be friends, it's actually families. I think people feel because you're blood via family that it's acceptable sometimes to financially abuse someone, and I don't think that's right. I don't think any type of abuse or financial, almost like, because if you was to lend someone, say, a substantial amount of money, and then you was relying on that money coming back, and they was just kind of like, meh, yeah, you might have it next week, or, oh no, I can't do this week, someone's come up, I need next week. That for me is like disrespect beyond belief. Number two, I would never, ever, ever lend you money again. I don't want to know the situation. If you called, I would politely hang up. I wouldn't even entertain it for a second time, because I think if you've done that once and broke my trust, you're bound to do it again. So absolutely not. And yeah, I'm so glad that you got your money back, but money for me is a big thing. And as I say, I could probably count on my hand the amount of people that if I was to lend money to, they would be the only people that, because I know that it would come back to me, and I know there wouldn't be any faffing around as to, oh no, maybe this week, maybe that week. No. And I just think everything is, of course, going up in price, and everyone's commitments are changing, and everyone's, like, the wages don't seem to be rising in line with the inflation. Is that just me, or what is going on here? So with that, and if people are aware of situations, to then put on someone and ask even more, I just think it's not something that I entertain, because I just think no, because by doing that you could put someone in even more financial hardship, and that's not fair on them, because if they gave you the money, it would be out of the goodness of their heart, and you've just abused that. So for me, you're not entitled to getting that benefit anymore. But what do I know? As I say, with money, I'm very old school. Another one of my lovelies. Love you loads too. My gut feeling is a red flag over the years, and I've learned that it's always right. I would say never ignore it. Amen to that. We're keeping true to our gut feelings. You know when you're loved, when crap happens, and no matter what it is, and they're still there supporting you through the bad as well as the good. It's not about how much money is spent on gifts, it's what the thought is behind that gift, and the little things that show your love. Love is not a word that I just say for the sake of it, and when I say I love you, I mean it. Like a hug can say so much without you saying a word. Amen to this. Again, with the gut. The guts never fail, okay? The gut that's where you need to be. The gut tells you yes or no. When it comes to, as you say, love, I think love gets chucked around and people's always like, love you. And I think there's a difference between saying love you and I love you. Or like, love ya, love you, I love you. I think they are all different contexts, different types. It depends who you say it to, and it depends the meaning. Like, I don't say love you a lot, and I'm very selective who I say it to you. Say it to you, say it to you. I say it to you guys. If I say I love you, that's very minimal people. But I will never say it like my lovely here without meaning it, because I think it then will tarnish the word, and I think the word does get chucked around a lot, and it does get, people will take the word love as to how they want. They will take it as, oh, that's cute, or they'll be like, nope, that's not right. People will take it as a friendship thing, and sometimes people can take it as a wrong thing. And it all depends, I think, on the context, the type of relationship, the way it's said. And yeah, I'm like you, I don't say those words unless I mean them. And I think you have to keep yourself guarded. And as I say, when you do say those words, whoever you're saying it to, they will know that it's meant, because it's not a word that you just throw around willy-nilly and say all the time. And definitely having someone that goes through the bad as well as the good, and it is not about the money on the gifts. As I say, I am more than happy just with a card. On any occasion, a card for me is like, I love them. I have in my memory box quite a lot of cards from over the years, whether it be some that I kept from like my nan and granddad's, and some for special occasions from Mama G and Dada. Like some nice cards, and I do like them, and I'm trying to think how I can display them in a memory book. You know, I've got my scrapbook, which I've not started. I bought it in lockdown and just never done it. That is something that I would love to complete. I've kind of said that I want to have that as my challenge for Christmas this year. Get the memory box and scrapbook sorted. So who knows, will I? I'd like to think I would. Let's have a look. Right. We're ending on this one, and this is a very good one. This is very detailed. I love this. So, I have some anonymous thoughts, some points, and some as worded red flags. These are my immediate thoughts, but maybe I'll have a lot more later. Right, first one. Don't settle... I can't speak, guys. Don't settle for something that isn't right, even if you feel like the time is running out. So this, my lovely, has said, is like she has points and red flags. But I would say that is not necessarily a red flag for you, but if someone's wanting you to settle and like kind of relating to the first one, be like, go, 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 and you're like, no, 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 that for me is a red flag, because you can't settle for something that you're not happy with. There's no point being unhappy in any aspect of life for other people, because you don't live your life for other people, and other people may not be around here forever. So you would live life for said persons, and then when they're not here, what are you left with? Would you look back in 30 years and think, oh, kind of just plodded along in life? Like, I don't think we should plod along in life. We should go out, we should be wild, we should travel, we should experience, we should eat the good food, we should have all the cake, and we should just live life however we choose to live it. I agree with you there, my lovely. Red flag, consistently putting in more effort and care than the other person. Oh my goodness. I hear you. I hear you. That, I think, is why, looking back now, I think my previous relationships may not have lasted. As you all know, I've got nothing against gamers, guys, but my 2 exes were gamers. And I think I've done 12 years with gamers. Unfortunately, that console will always be above a relationship, and you do naturally go to put more effort in because you want to spend that time and you want them off the gaming, but it doesn't always work like that, guys. And you then get to a point where you put so much effort in that you just retract, and I can speak about that from first experience. You will then come back and you resent, and then if they was to say to you, example, I'll tell you what, let's go out, you're automatically no, because you think no. Well, I do. I would think, no, now you want to make an effort? No. As say, effort, consistency, it definitely has to be 50-50. Another red flag of constantly compromising more on your ideas than theirs. Again, compromise is a balance. You might not fancy doing something that's suggested, but you could be like, I tell you what, we'll do that, and then could we do this after? Because I think you have to be very open in relationships. We all have different hobbies, all different aspects. It's all give and take, guys. All give and take. A point here from my lovely. You're worthy of someone to be interested in you, and you shouldn't have to change or beg for attention. No. If someone is saying, oh, I wouldn't do that, or could you not do that, or could you not wear that, or could you change that? That's a red flag for you clearly don't like who I am. Like, if someone was to come to me and be like, don't think you should really wear the bright blue Doc Martens, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to wear them. Or, I don't really think you should dye your hair weird, bright colours. I think you should just stay, like, plain Jane basic. I'd be like, well, thank you for your input, but I'm still going to do me. But if someone is not as confrontational, they might be blindsided and they might be allowed to, oh, actually, no, yeah, I won't do that. And I just think, no. If you want something in life, go out and get it, my lovely. And when you get it, it'll be even sweeter. Don't enter a relationship just because you see the potential in them. It's not your job to change them into something else. That's another thing. Why is it sometimes people look at people like projects? And people say, oh, if he wanted to change, like, no. If a guy wanted to change, or a woman, they would change. And you see all over on TikTok, they say they will only change for the right person. And I think you can't, as they say, a perfect way for someone up there, see potential. You see potentials in work, life, future. You shouldn't see potentials in people as a way to control or change them. It's all well and good seeing potential in someone, thinking, you know what, they're absolutely going to smash life. They are going to become that managing director. They are going to become a millionaire. Whatever it is they want, if you see that potential, that I think is encouragement. But it's not in terms of, well, you know what, I could work with them and then we could change this and do that. They're not an experiment. They're not a project. And no personal relationship should be looked at like almost as a work, a chore. Just like in friendships, the same in relationships, regarding that we're not meant to last a lifetime. And that's okay. Appreciate them for what they are, be grateful for that, and then move forward and bring some fresh energy in your life. Amen to that. I think we get very blindsided by sometimes generational views. So, for example, my first relationship, I was 14, and that was 14 to 21. And then I had one from 22 to 26-ish, 26 and a half. Now, that was through me walking away thinking there's nothing else here that can be done. However, if you lived your life through generational views, so I'm talking like if your parents have been together for a long time, siblings have been together, grandparents, everything like that, there can be a very big pressure to be like, shit, I've got to follow this. Like, I need to, otherwise I'm going to be the letdown or the outcast. But I think times change. Every generation is different. Back in my nan and granddad's generation, that wasn't a thing to do. Like, and I think they did talk, or I don't know how they used to solve it back in the day. Probably my nan would probably throw a frying pan at my granddad or something like that, and they'd have that bicker and then it'd be done. Mama G and Dada, I think theirs was like a lack of communication alongside me and Dad was clashing a lot. So that was kind of like a household environment. But I think with, say, my generation, it's so easy to just chuck something away. And whether that be, oh, well, you know what, I'll just go on Tinder and swipe through or whatever. But I think when you get to a point where you've worked and you've tried and there's physically nothing else that you can see going forward, why should you stay somewhere that you're not happy? Because if that was me, I would still be in my first relationship. God knows where I'd be now. But everyone else would be happy around me, and it would be, oh, they was the school, like, sweethearts, and look at them now. If you're not happy, it's not worth anything. Would I have wanted to be this age in a relationship where I wasn't happy? Maybe tied down with certain aspects? No. Because then I think I would have resented my life. And I think you have to take the courage sometimes to be like, I've tried and it's not enough. I always say when me and Mum talk, I'd say both of my relationships I gave 2 years longer than I should have done. Because it is hard. You don't want to walk away from them relationships. You're so used to that person and so used to your bubble. But you have to have the respect for yourself to be like, this isn't what I want anymore. And it's not doing me any good. It's not doing you any good if, like, there's arguments or there's just nothing, like there's no chemistry or anything there. It's not doing anyone good. Who is it doing good? The people on the outside who see a picture and think, oh, they're great. A lot goes on behind closed doors, guys, and I think if I'd have stayed in the mindset of like the generational relationship thing, I would have been in a relationship that I wasn't happy in. And then, as I say, you have time on your own, you learn. I always say my single time was my self-love time. I figured out what I wanted to do. I got into fitness. I travelled. Like, that was my thing. And then when I got into my last relationship, it was kind of like things turned again. And looking back on that one, I missed my red flags. And the red flags at the beginning were the ones that inevitably was the reason for the ending of it. And then, as I say again, I had my travels, I went off, I got into the gym, and then here we are now. And I'm actually happy to say in this relationship, I don't have red flags. I don't have them warnings, and I don't have the worries. And I think it's because you don't stay in things for other people. I think you can't. And as you say, whether it be friendships or relationships, appreciate what you had. What you had may not be what you have now, but there's new energy, there's new chapters, there's new things to experience, and I don't think that should be seen as a negative. I really don't. I think as long as people are happy, whichever situation they're in, friendship, relationship, work, marriage, life, whatever it is, you have to be happy and you shouldn't live life for other people. So yeah, I completely agree with you on that, my lovelies. And the last one, don't stay with someone because you feel guilty. I've been, over the past 2 years, I became ill with chronic illness than before. I was single before and I still am now, but I'd been with someone. And after trying for a bit, it turns out they really couldn't cope with my needs or lifestyle. And I didn't expect them to stay, as the strain wouldn't be happy or healthy for either of us. Don't stay somewhere or with someone because you feel guilty. Again, I think you might say, so why did you stay for 2 years longer? And you openly say, I stayed 2 years longer. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was scared to be on my own out there. Maybe it was guilty because you think, oh, I'll try one more time. And you'll have the chats, and then it will go great for, say, a week, a month, and then slowly it will go back into the same cycle. And you might do that 2, 3, 4, however many times over whatever duration, months, years, and it doesn't get any easier. And then when you do actually finally take that step and be like, no, that's it, I've got to go away, it's not as scary as you thought. I was scared both the times I was single, But I use that time for me. And as I say, I think you learn a lot about yourself. You learn new hobbies. As I say, I got back into reading. I was out travelling. That was what I liked. Travelling was my thing when I was single. Going out, you guys know, my log cabins, my Caribbean adventures. That was my thing. And it's not changed. Now I'm in a relationship. I still love my travels. I still love my log cabins. Me and Mama G are still out and about. You're probably wondering there's not been a memory day with Mama G just yet. She doesn't know when she wants to book her Virgin Experience days for. And I'm like, Mum, we normally have one once a month. And she's like, yeah, but she's a busy lady now. I say to her on her weekends, what are you up to? She's like, oh, I'm out here with my friends, or I'm out there. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm just filming this weekend if you want to do anything. She's like, okay. Like tonight we're filming a Galentine's. We're having our Galentine's Day. So that will be fun for you guys to see. A little mama-daughter time. Put on a few films. Bit of wine. As I say, dry January over. Mama G, she didn't really do dry January, did she? But yeah, I think I said to her, like, we need to do some memory days. She's like, oh, I'll see when I want to book them. So that I loved when I was single, you guys know, but I have to remember Mama G is getting on a little bit. And she says to me sometimes, Shan, I just feel old. I can't be doing all these days up London. I'm like, okay. So we will get her back on the memory days. I think we might have one, I want to say March time maybe. I'll have to double check, but I think around March time. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But guys, that is the last one. I'm going to have a little drinky poo and cleanse my throat. And let's get in with the outro. So my lovelies, red flags, eh? No matter what or where they are in our life, we can't avoid them. But we just have to know when to accept them. Not that you should accept red flags, but you know how you listen to your gut. And let me know, are you gut, heart or head? Let me know what order you go by in life with them. As I say, mine is my gut, then my head, and my heart's last, because I think that's what you have to stay protected by. But yeah, I've loved this one. I hope you're all having a lovely February so far, the month of love. Is anyone doing anything nice for Valentine's Day? I mean, I know we've just had a chat about red flags and probably everything unloving, but is anyone doing anything nice on Valentine's? I would love to know. But as always, I'm not going to sit here and ribbit rabbit, because you've actually got me later on at 6 o'clock. So if you're watching this on upload day, make sure you got your bell on, because 6 o'clock you're going to be seeing this face, hopefully with a bit of slap on, and we're going to be having another video. I say little video, it's probably going to be a big one. Might have something to do with the video yesterday, or one of the videos yesterday, because I had two again. You've had double uploads back to back this weekend, guys. No, I'm spoiling you. It's not. I've just got all of these ideas for content, and I'm like, I need to get it out. Need to get it out. Guys, if you do enjoy the video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. And as I say, leave us a comment. What is your top red flag that you look out for? And as I say, gut, head, heart, what way do you go, guys? Take care, stay safe as always, and I'll see you 6 o'clock for another video. Bye, guys.